الإسلام ديني والأرض بغير ديني محمد اللي هديني.
When you have a very big task, break it down into pieces. One of my friends and colleagues sold 115 million copies of his books. His name is Jack Canfield. And I asked Jack, I said, Jack, how do you sell 115 million copies? So Jack says to me, Azeem, when we wrote this book, I said, you didn't even write the book. You just collect the stories from everybody else. He said, yeah, of course, we co-created the book. I said, fine. He said, Mark Victor Hansen and Jack spent a whole day brainstorming how they're going to sell the books. So they had flip charts everywhere. We'll do this, we'll do that. It was overwhelming. He said, it was too much. How are you going to do all these things? But they decided every single day they must do 5 things. Even if it takes them 10 minutes or half an hour. And the 5 things could be as simple as phone this person, fax this person, email this person, attend a network function, or go and do a radio interview. Anything, but we must do 5 things. By doing 5 things every day, they ended up selling 115 million copies. What's my point? My point is, little by little, you create big things. Drop by drop, you create the ocean. Inch by inch, life is a cinch. Yard by yard, life is very hard. So if you have a big task, break it down. And every single day, do something. 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, 5 things. In that consistency, you create big results. In my friend Jack's case, they sold 115 million copies by this principle of doing something every single day, focused and aligned to their goals. As you go about your business today and your work today, break your big task down into pieces and do something every single day towards it, and watch how drop by drop you create the ocean. Have a great day.
MashaAllah, that was a great inspirational talk there. And of course, without such talks, then our lives will be spiritually empty. And now it's time for the morning sports tips with Professor Solly Said.
Now let's look at some practical movements of karate. The first technique of karate is called a chudan. Okay, the chudan-ski is a straightforward punch, but the karate punch is very different from a boxing punch or any other form of a punch. As you can see, the movement requires a certain amount of spinning or turning of the hand, which has a penetrating effect, a very strong penetrating effect. And of course, in karate, we don't only use the fist or the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder. We actually draw energy from the earth. We draw the energy from the earth up into our body. Here, we consolidate it in the hara, and from the hara, we direct it to whichever part of the body we want to take this punch, this technique out. Whether it's a kick or whether it's a punch, it's always drawing this energy into the hara. Here, letting it percolate or strengthen, becomes really tight, and then send the key into your hands. Okay, the key is your life force that you're going to send into your hand or your knife hand, whether it's your half clenched fist, elbow, or whether it's your knee or your foot, whichever position you're going to be using. You learn to direct that energy into that area and make it as powerful as possible. And that's why we hear about small, old, frail-looking karate masters defeating big, strong sumo wrestlers in the years gone by. But that's because of the key to power. Okay, so here we have sensei and sensei seated. Now, starting karate, we have the yoi, getting ready. Moving into right foot sanshin dachi. Right, so right foot forward. Stretch your hands out. So we're going to do the first movement where we're going to do a double punch. Bring both hands in, nicely. Invert your fist and slowly push it out. Thrust it out slowly. Right. Pull it in again and thrust it out. Now these movements are done slowly with muscular tension to tap all your muscles around your body. So we want this power to come out at the end of this fist. So we will draw it from the feet into the hara and then direct it out to whichever hand you want to use. Now pull in your one hand. And we put your right hand in. Okay, now you got your fist, your slight bend elbow. Right. We never punch with a straight elbow because we don't want to cause what is commonly known as tennis elbow. You keep a slight bend in the elbow, it's called a natural bend. When you punch, it goes out with lots of force and power and penetration. Okay, so slowly punch again. Watch how the fist turns. This one inverts this way, and the other one inverts the other way, right? So that's the uniqueness of the karate punch. Okay, punch again, and see how it turns. One comes out, one goes in. So it's a simple movement, but it requires a certain amount of coordination as you move. Do it again slowly. Okay, now let's shout kiai. Bring the kiai out from your hara and expel the air as you punch and accelerate the punch. Right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's good. Now let's do the same punch to the face. So slowly, once slowly, ichi and knee. One more. Sun, slowly up to the face. Right. And chi. Okay, this time faster. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, rock, sish, hach, ku, chu. See, now punch to the groin. So these are still slow punches again to the groin now. Ich. That's it. Yes, knee, slowly down and punch it out. That's it. San. Okay, now with some kiai. Canada! Yes. And one more time. Canada! Yes. Heichi! Yes. San! Chi! Go! Ruk! Sish! Hachi! Ku! Chu! And now right. Alright. So, another important thing that we look at in karate is the mastering of the technique. Anyone can learn these techniques. It takes some very, very athletic type students normally pick up a technique in one shot. But the whole idea of karate is not about just learning the movement, it's about mastering the movement. Now mastering takes many, many, many years to accomplish the technique to be mastered. So we need to practice these techniques thousands and thousands of times so that we can get this movement becoming second nature in our body. Right. Now, let's go back into a yoic position. Right, from here, right foot forward, Sanshidachi one more time. Okay. Right, now look at one more strike, the back fist strike. A very powerful strike. For example, I might be walking this way, and the person's coming from the side, and it looks like he wants to interfere. From here, the back fist strike goes straight to the nose, to the eye, to the throat, the temple. Another one could be, for example, to the groin. Pa! That's called a back fist strike. You have a back fist uraken gamen, back fist strike to the face, uraken sayo, back fist strike to the side, and uraken hizo, back fist strike to the spleen, or to the groin, for example. So these are very, very powerful techniques. In a deeper sense, talking about the electromagnetic forces that are involved here, we, for example, take it this way, that a punch overloads him. Okay, a strong punch, I bring in all my electromagnetic forces into him, then he gets a short circuit, that's how he falls down. The uraken is drawing out his energy. Striking this way, you draw the energy out of him, and that's what makes him collapse. Okay? So, let's try the uraken gami. It's a simple movement, it goes out, the wrist turns, snaps, and comes back. So, out, turn the wrist, and bring it back. So a little snappy motion, and back. So out and back. The snapping action is what causes the whiplashing movement, which is very important in karate. So let's see, for example, Sensei slowly. 1, Sensei slowly, and back. 2, and back. 3, back, and slowly 4. And now do a snapping action. Here is strong one. Start with the right. 1, and shout here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The same movement to the side. Simple technique which just goes to the side and back. And back. That's it. Right, let's see. Okay. 1 slowly with the right hand. There's again the wrist turning, as you can see, and it goes back. 2, the wrist snaps, turns, and then back. So that little action, just that small little wrist action, can cause quite a bit of damage. Okay, starting with the right hand with kiai. Right, ready, ichi, ni, san, chi, go, roku, sushi, hachi, ku, chu. That's it. Come back now there, and straight, and shake it out. So here again, as you can see, just the wrist action. But, as I said earlier, nothing is just, no power in karate is just from the small area of the wrist. It's drawn from the earth up here. We draw energy from the sky, from the heavens, and we draw energy from the earth, okay? That's our key. That's what we call your life force, which we try to harness in karate. Every day was a practice of the different movements, the different forms that we use. And later on, the katas that we will do, and some of which we will show you, you'll see how we actually harness, how we capture, how we draw in this energy of the universe into ourselves, which we then use in our lives, not only in karate in the dojo sense, but also in our lives.
I hope you benefited from Professor Solly Said's teachings, and of course I think you've known how to exercise. And now let's get the news read by Nafisa Dango.